Hello, good evening. Welcome to what could be the final episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. I'm joined by Andrew and Del, who
the greatest of them all, and we will always support them, whether we rise or fall. Or fall, and we'll drink together in praise of the AFC.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans, for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but
Team called Arsenal, the greatest of them all, and we will always support them, whether we rise or fall. Or fall, and we'll drink together in praise of the AFC. Listen, Ferg. I'm sorry if you get a little bit of a view of my ear, but I can't hear you, so you might get a view of my ear so I can hear what you're saying, son.
Right. Well, if you two shut up, or you three shut up for a minute, people already are going, God help us. It's only 7:01. Well, Jeff, some of these have been drinking since 7:01 this morning. So yeah, this is going to be a challenge for the faint-hearted. I will say welcome, Del. Welcome, sober in England, Andrew. How are both of you? Are you looking forward to this?
I am. At the same time,
what about welcome, Trev and fucking Dan and Alex?
I will in a second. I'm welcoming our sober-ish guests first.
Alex, he's not welcome buff, mate.
In case my missus is...
Listen, boys, are you looking forward to this? I'll just put them on mute for a second, just so I can get a word in into it somewhere.
It's going to be eventful, that's for sure, isn't it? It's going to be eventful.
Donna, I've only had 2 pints, I promise.
You don't have big pint glasses up.
We do. We love you, Donna. We do. We love you, Donna. We do. Oh, Donna, we love you.
Donna is watching. And she actually wished me. She wished me well with this podcast beforehand. Guys, there is a carnival in Eindhoven. Talk to me about the carnival. Dan and Alex, welcome.
We're on our way. We're on our way. We got a Munich. We're on our way. Oh, we get there right. I know. Oh, we get there right. Okay. We're on our way. We're on our way. We're on our way. We got a Munich. We're on our way. Oh, we get there right. I don't know. Right, I'm not. No way. They're being bad now. I'm not singing that. Ferg, I won't be bad anymore. I promise. We're on our way. We're gonna mutiny. We're on our way.
You know what I'm hoping? You know what I'm hoping, people? I'm hoping that.
Alex, you're out of order, you two. You're bang out of order. They're bang out of order, Ferg. I pulled them up on it, son.
All right, that's it. Right, okay. Guys, talk to me about Eindhoven and the festival. What's the festival like out in Eindhoven?
Shit.
Okay, clearly.
To be honest, mate, honestly, Ferg, it's since the minute we landed, it's been a great day. 10 degrees, sunny weather. Honestly, we've got here. Everyone's in a good spirit. PSV fans have wished us well. We need it because we've got no strikers, but they've all wished us well. Yeah, very welcome, very good place, very great day, and we've got another 24 hours or so to the game, and I can barely say it. I can't even say my S's. I'm a bit.
I'm looking forward to the calls in the morning. Trevor, Super Kevin and his flag with all the lads made a trip to, I assume that's Sean's Bar, just off the square. Great to see, it's not Sean's Bar, but it's great to see Kevin's flag doing the European tour.
Yeah, we've been in a different bar, Ferg, just up the road, and but in fairness, follow on from what Stan said, the PSV fans have been brilliant. They've looked after us. They've loved the Kevin flag. They've all wanted photos. They all wanted photos. I told them to get lost. They weren't taking photos. But apart from that, yeah, it's been all good. All good.
So let's try just for a few minutes to be a little bit serious and just try and see if we can talk about this game. PSV.
Yeah, Dan, Alex, be serious.
Right,
Ferg, I'm very, very, very serious. Very serious.
I know. Okay, right. You're gonna mute. The two of you are gonna mute. The PSV side, Andrew. Let's talk about these. They were.
What are you putting me on mute for? I wasn't being out of order. They were being.
Well,
out
you
of
are
order.
now. So you are now. So just shush a second. I'll just ask somebody a question. Jesus Christ! I'm going to need canonization after this, Andrew. PSV were flying high in the league at the start of the year, but they've dropped down only to second. But they haven't won a game, I think, in 10 games in all competitions. Not keeping clean sheets, and they're missing some key players. What's your? Have you any fears of this PSV? You're on mute, mate.
You're on mute, Duff lad.
I might jump in there because I'm surprised at that stat because we were chatting to a few guys earlier, and from what we've seen, also PSV, they're a very good side, and they're second in Eredivisie, but I would probably say they've been the best team this season in their league. I would probably say better than Ajax. So they're still a great side. They probably haven't got the best defence, but then we've got those strikers. So. And who knows? For a reason as well. I mean,
yeah, and Dale, on PSV, they beat Juventus in the knockout rounds to try and get to this stage of the last 16. They were losing 2-1 after the first leg and came back to win it in I don't know. I think it was extra time, 4-3 to qualify into the last 16. They're no mugs, but we'll just have to see. Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of this knockout stage, right? The beauty of this knockout stage is everyone's in with a puncher's chance. And I know Dan mentions there we've got no strikers, and we know we need strikers, right? We know that. But in a knockout in a knockout competition as it is now, I think everybody has a chance. And I mean, I don't know what the general consensus is amongst the travelling fans and the home fans as well. Be interested to see what their thoughts are. In fact, can I pass over to either Trev? I can see you listening intently there. What are the home fans that are thinking there? Do they think they've got a chance in this game?
I don't know. I've not spoke to the home fans. I don't give a damn about the home fans.
Too busy drinking.
I'll jump in there, mate. The home fans think we are favourites, and they've said this all day. They think Arsenal are the favourites. They're coming here as the side that's the underdog. I can't see it, mate. Honestly, I think with what we've got attacking wise,
my son.
We've got out. I don't
Down's
think we're
upset
the
with you
favourites
now.
here. I did see something.
Down, my son. Listen.
I saw
Down, my
Ivan
son.
Perisic,
Listen.
the ex-Tottenham player. He said for the last couple of seasons, Arsenal has always been missing something. So I reckon Arteta's got his team talk there.
We're clearly missing something. We're missing up front. Trevor, go on.
Listen, right. A lot of Arsenal fans and a lot of PSV fans are saying, yeah, we're the favourites. By the end of the day, PSV have had a really good season, right? They're right up there in their league. And we're going to have to be at our best to beat them. If we are at our best, we're going to batter them, right? We're going to batter them. But after what we've seen, are we going to see great Arsenal or average Arsenal? I think we need to see some great Arsenal to beat PSV because they're not a bad side. And we also need to beat PSV because I bought my tickets to Madrid, you know what I mean? So I can't...
I didn't think you were talking about that, Trev.
Arsenal aim to go 5 straight wins in a row in the Champions League. The last time we done that, Alex, was when we when we met Barcelona in the Champions League final. We've met PSV 10 times. We've drawn 4 times. They've won twice, and we've won 4 times. Expectations: can we go 5 games unbeaten? And yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think I need a scotch.
Yeah, I think we definitely can. I mean, it's a difficult game away from home with the injuries we've got, but I mean, we owe them one after the 2007 as well when they knocked us out on Reece last game.
Yeah.
But I reckon we've got enough. I mean, in midfield, defence, we're solid. I think it's going to be difficult for them to break us down. And up front, I mean, we've got Wanyeri. We've still got Reno up front.
Alex, shut up.
Your audio's gone. Andrew, do you want to come on where you think our strengths are then against this PSV side? Lewis Skelly will be available, so would you play Lewis Skelly over say Timber or Calafiori?
First, listen, right? We've got to play our best side, right? This is our last hope. This is our last chance, right? There's nothing left for us. We play our best side in this competition. We go fucking fall out to get to Munich. If you didn't say Trev, I'm sorry.
Andrew,
Didn't say something else.
Good chat.
Andrew, as Trevor said, the lineup, we need to go as strong as possible. But the question I did put to you with Lewis Skelly, Timber, because Ben White should hopefully be available, and Calafiori, we got those four. Who of the two of those four would you be playing, Andrew?
Ben White and Lewis Skelly all day long. Put them in, okay. Have those two in. Let's go. The game's going to be in the midfield, isn't it? Providing that, Declan and Odegaard are sort of, together and at it, then, it doesn't really matter if we haven't got a striker up there anyway, because I'm sure we'll get the goals in. Trev's going to come across me again, isn't he, now? Can see it. He's winding up to say something.
he's getting to. What I was going to say is, Dan, I'll come to you on this one, because when
Dan can't hear you in a minute. Dan's been invaded.
Wait.
Dan's been invaded by a fucking Mario man. Look.
We've got some PSV fans here, and they obviously know their shit and Arsenal are massive, but we're going to ask them the question.
Yeah, of course.
What do you guys think about tomorrow's game?
Man, it's going to be lit. They're going to win, of course.
Who's going to win?
PSV, of course.
Why?
Because they're better than everyone.
He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo.
Let's go.
He's drunker than you, Dan.
He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo.
Lads, alcohol does strange things. Alcohol does strange things. Because you know what? What I'll say is, have you heard? There's a team called Arsenal.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, boys. I might have to go in a minute, because I might have to help Dan and Alex out. I think there's going to be some aggro.
Up on a live stream, are we?
Drink together in praise of the AFC. And we'll drink together in praise of the AFC. Fulham can stay in the cottage. Southampton can stay in the Dell. And as for Tottenham Hotspur, they can go to hell, and we'll drink together in praise of the AFC. Go on, you Arsenal, up your heads.
Right. A question I was going to put to you before you took that away, Dan, was is it Nathan Butler Adoije? Do we start this young lad? He's a striker. He's
what a stupid question. What a stupid. Of course we don't start him. Of course we don't start him. It's like our last chance in Europe. The lad's probably a brilliant player, but we don't chuck him in. We play our best team, right? Which probably means Sterling on the bench with what's his name, Nathan, right? And then we decide off the bench who's coming on. We don't start him. We don't throw him to the wolves. You know what I mean? This is our last chance, boys.
I know.
Everyone here is like.
Question for you.
Does Trev have a good point on that?
I've got a question for Trev. Trev, if we don't start the youngster, now I've not even thought about this, to be honest. Who starts up top? Please don't say Sterling.
Someone else.
Who? That's what I'm asking. Who
starts up front? Well, it'll be Marino, won't it? Probably, Probably be Marino. We can't throw this young lad in like this. PSV are a damn fine side.
I agree. I can understand why Fergus is asking this question. I can understand why he's asking that. And the reason I say this is, what is the point of keep trying makeshift strikers when we do have a striker on the bench? My argument is, if he's good enough to be on the bench, he's good enough to be on the pitch. If not, why is he on the bench? That's the question.
the young lad on the bench is as untried as Marino and anyone else, right? They're all untried. None of them have proven themselves as forwards at the very, very highest level, which is what this is. Don't forget, this is the very, very highest level, right? So you give experience a chance, and if it's not going right, then chuck them on off the bench, chuck them on. But don't forget where we're playing now. This ain't no FA Cup, this ain't no Premier League. This is the best teams in Europe. It's another level. So you take our experience and you put it in there.
I've got a question again for everybody to the panel, actually. I
You're
personally
doing me
think European... So you put yourself on mute, then you'll be all right. I personally think European football is better suited to us, and the lack of striker, I think, is going to become less prevalent in this game than what it is in the Premier League. And the reason I say that is because in Europe, they seem to play a higher line than that lower block, which we seem to struggle to break down. So I think if there's a game which gives us a chance, I think I'd fancy myself at PSV ahead of that I would in the Premier League with this team. Would you not?
Do you know what, Dal? I said the exact same words today. The exact same words. I think our game is better suited to Europe. And then I
100%.
retracted that, right? And I replaced the word, one word. And I genuinely mean this. I hope our game is better suited to Europe, right? I genuinely hope our game is better suited to Europe because it's what we've got to go for. You know what I mean?
And Andrew, what's your thoughts on that? Then, do you think that the style of football in Europe will suit English teams better because the Premier League is a lot much a faster game, and teams with lesser quality have to use the low block and so on. But the game in Europe seems that little bit slower and allows the build-up play that maybe, hopefully, playing without a striker mightn't be as big of a hindrance in Europe than it is in the Premier League.
No, I agree. I think the one thing we can guarantee tomorrow is PSV aren't going to go and play the low block against us, are they? They're not going to camp down and sort of let us break us down. We've got players on that pitch with speed, and sort of we can get Odegaard sort of like playing those passes over to Manweri, or we can Trossard, whoever we've got up top, just to try and sort of break up the play so we can get some people into the box. I think we'll be fine, because you look at even Forest at home, I thought were really negative on Wednesday night. And it just doesn't help us. But I've just been looking at some bits on here. I mean, they've got a goal difference of plus 44 in their league, scored 73 and conceded 29. So
yes,
they're going to come at us.
I think they will come at us. The issue is if we can score against them, because they haven't kept a clean sheet, I think, all season in all competitions. Trevor,
but that's the benefit, isn't it? They'll get us on the break, won't we? If we get that ball away and we get that ball out wide to our speedier players, why not?
Trevor, Lucas Perez, formerly of Arsenal, has signed as a free agent for PSV as a striker. He can't play in the Champions League because he's cup tied, but clever bit of moving. Maybe we should have done something like that. Do you think? Yeah,
maybe we should. Ferg, I just picked up on a really interesting point the boys made there, that they may come at us more than anyone else, but the thing I trust the most is our defence, Our defence. I don't care if PSV come at us a bit more. I think we have the tools to handle that situation. I worry, as Dal rightly said just now, right? I worry about what happens up front, because that's where we've been missing, But at the end of the day, we're all right at the back. We're not going to worry about PSV. What I worry about is what's coming. And I want to play experience. Where are these boys? I've lost them.
Lads, we don't know too much, he said, but we had to tell these guys Alex is Diego Maradona's grandson, just to get them to go away from us. So, Steve, everyone, meet Steve Maradona.
Guys, you two, do you think we can be defensively? I think we're very, very strong. PSV are very attack minded, as has been said by the other guys here. Do you think we can hold them off? And maybe do we play for a draw out in PSV and then take it back to the Emirates? Hang on, Trev. You had your say. 1 second, mate.
Gosh.
I'm asking Alex and Dan. Would you play for a draw? Would you try and nick it, and you take him back to the Emirates then and try and win the game? We might have other players back in fitness. You're on mute for some reason, guys, and you're not showing mute on mine here. Start talking.
They're not on mute. They're on a wind up. Daniel, stop it.
Fucked it up.
Fergus, I would say I would take a draw tomorrow going back to the Emirates. I'm confident that we can beat them. I'm confident we could beat them at the Emirates. I just reckon we're safe for tomorrow. Defensively, in midfield, we're strong. I'll take a draw back to the Emirates.
I don't think we're safe, by the way. I think PSV are a very, very good side. I would take a draw because I would take anything not losing against PSV. At home, they're a great side. We haven't got our front three, and even in recent games, we've not been the best defensively, by the way. So we need to improve a little bit. We need to go back. If we get a clean sheet, I'll take it all day long. And then at home, I think we can beat anyone. But again, when you've got Wanyeri, when you've got Sterling, we've got Mourinho up top.
Sterling?
Mate,
I'm joking.
I think Sterling will play, mate. I think Sterling will play.
Tomorrow.
But personally, yeah. When you're on the break and you've got a player that can run in behind like Sterling, as opposed to a player like Trossard who likes the ball. Trossard likes to drop deep, likes to drop into spaces.
That's a question. That's a question I'll put to you then. Who do you start over Sterling or Trossard? Because Wanyeri's definitely going to be out and right. You'd probably put Mourinho or Sterling in the middle. But if Mourinho's going to start in the middle, or Nathan in the middle, I know Trevor doesn't agree with. But if we took that gamble, then you've got Trossard or Sterling for out on the left. Trossard, for me, is a great impact player. I've said it time and time again. And I think Sterling, it needs time in a game to try and get into a game and then maybe take him off. Would you start Sterling then if that was the lineup?
For me, Ferg, yes, because I think when we come to PSV, we're going to play on the counter. And PSV are a very good side. Jerry Simmons, for example. Jerry Simmons is a brilliant player. And he's a player who likes to get on the ball and dictate play.
He doesn't play for PSV.
What?
Jerry Simmons.
Not anymore.
No, he's a live.
Dan's fucked it up.
Fucked it up. Go on, Dan, keep going.
He looked proper confused there, bless him.
So the guy who's not playing for PSV is a huge threat. We're in trouble.
Him. Anyway,
They have got some good players, though.
Generally, when PSV play at home, they're a great side, and they do dictate play. And as I said earlier, that for me, they're the best side in the Eredivisie. They're gonna be on the front foot, and I think we're better as a team to sit back and counter as opposed to try and go on the front foot. Because if we go on the front foot, they will sit tight like West Ham, and they'll counter, and we get picked off. So I would place probably Sterling, Trossard, and Wanyeri as the front three, sit in a little bit deep, and then counter, and hope for a 1-0 win. But if we get a 0-0, I'll take it.
Trev, I'll come to you probably because you guys will want to get back drinking shortly anyway. I'll come to you with probably a final sort of question on it. Partey and Rice, you need to start with Partey and Rice, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Partey and Rice. Got for the simple reason they are part of our strongest team. And we're going to play our strongest team. And I'm just listening to the lads and you boys, what you're saying. Yeah, we may be on the back foot at times tomorrow, but I can't see us losing. I'm worried about us scoring, but I can't see us losing. I think we're too good at the back. But Ferg, listen, Partey, Rice, we play our best team. We play our best team. It's our one last chance of glory. We go for it. We absolutely go for it.
Yeah. Listen, I will let you guys go and get back to drinking. Just let me know. Oh, Trevor's dropped off.
There he is. No, he's there.
Oh,
he's there.
He's there. He's in the middle.
Right. Okay. Let's change it to 4 then. Let's change it to 4. So what's your score prediction, you boys there? What's your score prediction? Look at that's a gruesome picture, isn't it?
1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Arsenal.
1-1.
1-1.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would. I'm probably a 0-0. I'll take that too. I just need to bring it back to the Emirates with some belief in the game. Guys, look, enjoy the evening. I'm sure you'll have a good old time. Some people are giving some recommendations of where you could go. Trevor, there's apparently a red light district. I know Donna would be very pleased with it.
We've got a minion that's followed us here. So at the minute, what I would say is don't follow the minions because they all look like they need a bit more makeup because they look like a bit of a wet lettuce and a bit of a twat. But what we found out is PSV fans are wankers and Arsenal fans are massive, and everywhere we go we're massive, and Arsenal's going to win. So come on, you Reds. Come on,
we knew that. We went out there from before, boys. I'll let you guys go. Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you.
One of his mates is being sick. Hey. Let's not get on camera. Oh, let me.
It's not. Right, boys. You go. Us three are going to carry on. See you later.
Right. See you, lads.
Cheers.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Up the Reds. Come on, you Reds.
Oh my good God. Oh my good.
That was
God.
entertaining, wasn't it?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But can I touch on something there? They said that while it's still fresh in my mind, I've got to touch on this. I don't get why people keep giving Sterling a chance. For me, he just is not good enough. I've seen him time and time and time again. We keep saying, let's try him. He needs time. I will never put him. I don't want to say I'm slagging him off because that's not it. Because whilst he plays in that Arsenal shirt, I just do not think he's good enough. I really don't. And on going back to what you said, I'd rather start the young lad than Sterling because Sterling has proven on several occasions he hasn't got what it takes at the top level anymore. There's a reason Chelsea let him go. There's a reason he isn't getting the game time for us. But anyway,
Andrew,
my piece.
Do you know what? Right, I kind of do agree with you because after Forest on Wednesday, I said to you, don't know if they're coming out. He's just so negative, and he didn't, it's like he didn't want the ball. But if we are going to get them on the counter attack, and if he opens his legs up and goes, he is quick, and he'll get us up that pitch.
Yeah, he hasn't got any more, Andrew. He hasn't got any more. He's got
the pace. No, I saw him have the pace at Forest. I was very close to behind the goal and on the side that he was playing on. His pace wasn't an issue. It was his decision making that was his issue, and his confidence is totally shot. I would have disagreed with you before the Forest game. I've gone, no, he just needs to click and go. And I think if he gets one goal, it might happen. But for me, after the Forest game, I think I said to people, if he was a 15-year-old kid trying out for some academy, they would go, sorry, mate, you're not good enough. And it's sad to say that a player, but I did listen to a pundit once talking about Sterling, and if we just go into that for a little bit, Sterling that came along and said he came to the forefront very, very young. He's had a good 10 years at the top of his game. Yeah. And maybe he's just done it and done everything. And
you had this conversation, didn't we, as well?
Yeah.
We had this conversation the week.
I think maybe he's at that point where he's just, nothing fires him up anymore. He's had all the money at City. He's had all the money at still getting it from Chelsea. And he's come to try and play football under a manager who took the best out of him when he came from Liverpool and reinvigorated his career at City. Arteta was the guy who got him going and really, really performing well for City. So I don't know. I think he's, as Arnie just said, he's over the hill. But over the hill, was he 30 years of age, 31?
You say that though, right? Going back, footballers these days, they go to the age of 33, 34. Going back 10, 15, 20 years, it wasn't the case. People got to the age of 30 and that was the end of their career pretty much, right? These days, kind of people in their prime between 26, 20, some as late as 29. You look at the likes of Torres, for example. Torres is another player who, for me, sticks in that same sort of bracket. He wasn't a bad player. His career was cut short because I just think his lifespan, if you want to call it that, is just not what it was. Now, I'm not slating Sterling because you don't play for Arsenal, Chelsea, City and Liverpool and be a bad player. He's had a fantastic career. But I don't believe we keep saying it. We've said it over the years, right? We've got to stop accepting mediocrity. And he is mediocre. And I know we say, but he's all we've got, but he isn't. You've already named a player on the bench who we've got. Yes, he's untried, he's untested. But for Sterling, he's tried, tested, and doesn't work.
So if we just fast forward to the weekend, just briefly, Andrew, would you take that risk on Nathan Butler Doge. I think that's a pronunciation of his surname. You know me, I'm great at these sort of things. But
I think you've been right though, mate.
Yeah, it's the Irish whiskey. Would you take that risk on him maybe against United, because the league is, well, it's not done, but we type of believe that it's probably done.
What have you got to lose by giving him a go? You know, if he comes on, he tries it and he rips it up and scores, then you know it's a phenomenal sort of try. If it doesn't work, then we've not lost anything. And then with the position that we're in at the moment, with nobody up front, you know, why not give him a try? He might just, you know, we tried it with Nathan Manweri, didn't we? And he came on and shone. You know, you just don't know what these players are going to do and how they're going to react. So I 100% I'd give, even if you could bring him on at PSV tomorrow for 20 minutes, let's just see how he goes. Let's give him a shot and see what happens.
Yeah. But I'm also in the same position as Trevor. That is our last chance of getting some silverware this season. You know, we get past PSV. We hope that we've got Martinelli, and we hope that we got Saka back for if and when we get to Madrid and play one of the Madrid sides, because we will need firepower there. There is no way we're getting by with Moreno up top. And I love Lyle. If you might, I don't know if you missed it earlier, but they're definitely winning and losing, and definitely on the booze. Honestly, jeez, I've taken about 5 years off my life in the first half hour of this podcast.
Is Lyle out there as well? Lyle, are you out there?
Yeah,
no,
he's
he's
in the picture, isn't it? Yeah, he's in the picture, and they get the put on the pub earlier on, isn't he?
Let's have a look. Let's bring it back.
I'm certain he is.
He's not in that picture. There's Ryan.
I've seen one.
There's Ryan. There's Dan. There's Jason. There's David. I don't know who this chap at the front is. There's Trevor. And then there's, what's the German chap's called? The German.
Yeah, he is. If you go back a bit further, there's one about 5:30. He's in that one. He's on the left side.
I haven't.
Either way, I didn't think there'd be that much of a debate whether Lyle was out there, but Lyle, enjoy it, my friend.
Yeah, Lyle's not everywhere.
Out there.
Just one thing to touch on the youngster, one more before we wrap up on that scenario there. I think he can potentially be a game changer at some point, right? We've got nothing up top, and I think I don't think we start him. I think me personally, I'd start Marino up top. I don't think Sterling's offers any more than what Marino does. I'd go Winieri on the right. I'd go Trossard on the left, and I'd start Marino up top. I'd see how things go. And then from there, that's when we'd look at bringing the youngster on with maybe 15, 20 minutes to go to see how the game is. Depending on how he gets on there, depends on how we approach him in the Man United game. If he comes on and absolutely tears up, let's say he comes on and scores a brace, right? Well, we don't know. If that happens, that then puts a question mark over his head for the Man United game. And that's going to start having Man United asking questions as well. They're going to be asking, well, hang on a second. Who's this guy? Is he going to play? Is he not? How do we prepare for this? He has to play at some point tomorrow. I wouldn't start him, but he has to come on and play.
I think if needs be, and we need to change it up, it's definitely an option. Hente says Kabaya is ahead of Butler Doge. I've only seen Butler on the bench. I've not seen Kabaya's name on the bench, but not that I pay that huge amount of attention. Hente, you could be well right. Listen, there's a couple of things I would advise anybody out in this stadium. The away end is way up in the far corner. You're in a load of perspex. You know where
yeah, go on. Yeah,
a load of perspex, and the in the away end where the bar is. You were there last season. It's just a wash with beer, and there's no drainage. It's just awful. It's great because there's plenty of room, but you're just a wash with beer. And when I was out there the first time we played in the Europa League 3 seasons ago, I think it was, these stairs took full impact of my coccyx, and I knew that just be careful. It's steep. There are no railings. There's no safe standing or anything like that. So just be careful, because when we do score 5 goals, it could be carnage. But the great thing, if you do get a chance and you're out there, get in early, get out in the morning before you go on the piss, and go have a coffee or a beer. Inside there's a museum in the stadium. If you go to entrance 4 and go up the escalator, you can go into a cafe in the museum, and then you can come out and sit out on the edge of the pitch. So it's a really, it's definitely a different stadium, Del, don't you think?
Yeah, it was my first ever away day. So regardless of the result, I think we drew actually. Nelson scored. It was a fantastic day. The bar itself was a really good bar. I was really impressed actually. And they're very, very welcoming, the Dutch. They will happily come in. They'll speak to you. They'll offer to take photos like we were doing. It was a really pleasant first away experience. That being said, it was a lot quieter than what it seems to be today. Carnival plays a part in that, but this is a knockout stage for Champions League. When I was out there, it was the end of a group stage, and it was a case of, well, que sera, sera. So hence the reason I got the ticket. But yeah,
give you an idea. That's Carnival for you. I think that's King Dan. King Dan. I know we normally say King Dan a lot, don't we? But there's another letter else, don't we? Guys, I asked the others for their prediction on scores. Let's take yours. Andrew, I'll come to you. How do you think this game is going to play out, and what's your prediction on the score?
I'm gonna go 1-1. I think I'd take that coming back to the Emirates as well, because I think we will beat them at the Emirates. I'd love to see us keep a clean sheet out there, but I'm going to go on a conservative 1-1 draw.
Del?
I'm split between what the guys have said so far. I can't see it being anything other than a 1-0 or a 1-0. I think we'll either win 1-0 or we'll draw. I don't want to put a score in the draw. They're definitely going to come at us. We've got a solid defence, but there's question marks up top. I'd take a 1-0. 1-0 Arsenal.
1-0 Arsenal. Right, if there's only been a chat, let's have a look. You put your scores in there. We got 1-0 from Arnie, but a difficult game. We got a 2-1 from Danny, and we have a 0-0 from Jeff. So we got a mixture of results in there. We got over 300 people of you watching. If you missed the start and you want to cheer yourself up, do go back to the start. The boys are out in Eindhoven. To be honest, it was absolute chaos. I had to kick him off at the end. I did it nicely though, and we've managed to cover this game. I'm going to look forward to it. I'm going to look forward to the game. I'm going to go to the pub probably and watch it tomorrow night, and then I'm off to Manchester on Sunday to follow the Arsenal. Del, I know you needed to get off early, so we'll cut this short. Unless
don't blame me. I said by 8 o'clock. I could still sit here chatting for 25 minutes if you really want me to.
I was going to say, unless you've got some other topic you want to talk about. Well, I haven't got anything else written down.
Nah, nothing for me.
No, Andrew. Any other topics?
The only one I'll bring it. We've just talked about Butler Adeji, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at his stats, so because Cabia just said that we should be he's out in front of him.
Ishmael
Cabia, 5 games, no goals. Butler Adeji's played 11 games so far, the Premier League 2, and 7 goals. So why wouldn't you give him a go there based on those stats? Because he's still going to be playing with against some top class defenders. So I mean, let's go and give him a try. I mean, especially against United, because that's like playing against a kids team anyway.
My argument about playing Butler Adeji as well is he's a striker. Listen, we saw Marino on Wednesday night. We saw him against West Ham. He tries. He tries to get in the right positions, but he's not. He's a number 6, number 8 at best, but he's a number 6 by nature. And
I do agree with Dan.
He can run around, but he just doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do as a striker. This Nathan chap, at least that's his preferred position. Do you follow what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree. I agree, because I do agree with what Dan said when we came out of Forest on Wednesday, when he was saying that Marino's a great player, but he's a holding midfielder trying to play as a striker. So he's going to he's going to make holding midfielder runs. He's not going to be as sharp up front as you Havertz or a Saka or someone like that's going to be. So we just need somebody who's going to. For me, and everyone's going on about Odegaard sort of being restricted and not playing well this year, and not being. But he hasn't got any outlet. We haven't got Saka on the wing that he can play those passes to, because nobody's making the movement up front. So why not just give him a go and let's just see what happens?
Yeah, Odegaard has come into not quite a bit, some criticism from some sectors, and some of those sectors I don't really care for. But we all clearly can see with our eyes that he's not playing as well as he has played in previous seasons. His goal contribution, as an assist contribution, is way down on where it was before. He had 12 weeks out, yes, with an injury, but he came back, and then his wife's had a baby. But people still go to work when they have kids and stuff like that. It will have an impact. But also then there was the norovirus that hit the camp, which I think has affected both him and Rice and some of the other players. But you could see by having Marino up top, Del, that Odegaard hasn't got that connection with Nwaneri just yet. And Nwaneri wasn't making the runs for Odegaard, but Marino was making those runs that Dan and Andrew just talked about, which are more number 6 sort of defensive midfielder runs, and not trying to get in the space to get behind the defense.
No, I agree. And one, there's a play with all three of us have just mentioned there at some point, and I think he's going to be the difference maker tomorrow. People keep talking about Odegaard saying he needs to step up, whatever we're going to. I'm not going to criticize him. I think he's a great player. I think the difference maker tomorrow is Ethan Nwaneri. I think tomorrow, Nwaneri, a boy becomes a man. We could argue that's happened already. However, I think the way PSV will play a slightly higher line and come at us, I think that really opens Nwaneri up to kind of what he does. And he's not afraid to run at anybody. You can see that against it. When he plays with confidence. He's not afraid to take on anybody. And I think tomorrow we're going to see a different Ethan Nwaneri, a more confident Ethan Nwaneri, because he'll know that. Arteta will know that as well. So I think he's the difference maker tomorrow. I really, really think he's the difference maker.
There's one player we've not mentioned as well, who's hopefully going to be back tomorrow. I think is going to make a difference.
Ben White.
Overlap. If he can go, what's the one thing we've missed since he's not been in is those overlapping, underlapping runs to create space. Pull defenders away from Saka is what he was really good at. If he can pull defenders away from Nwaneri, give him space to run into, just to whip a ball in or to have a shot on that left foot, that's going to drive opportunities for us and going to bring other players into the game. I think he is massive for the Champions League and also for the run into the end of the season, because I'm still glass half full, boys. I don't think this league's done.
I think you need Liverpool to lose the equivalent of 4 games, including losing to us. And should we have a goals, which they could do, but if we had a goal scorer, then I think, and if we can get a Saka and Martinelli back sooner, then without jeopardising them, I think then we've got some sort of chance. Quite interesting. I was reading the Sports Mall earlier this morning about the preview show, and Nwaneri, born in 2007. How old do you feel? Is set to join Bellingham and Foden as the 3rd English player to start a Champions League knockout game before turning the age of 17. That shows the quality that kid is. I think he will surpass Starboy. I think he's going to be that good. You guys, would you say he's going to be better than Saka?
Hard to say. Really, really hard to say. I think, has he got the ability to? In all honesty, I wouldn't want to have the conversation as to who's better. I'd rather have the conversation of, shit me, we've got 2 outstanding talents here. And I think if we can work out a way to get them both in the team at the same time, I think we're on to something special. And it's actually interesting you mentioned him and Saka, because when they were both asked, I don't know if you've seen the interviews, I'll find them and show you them, about there's a player we spoke about previously, Max Dowman in the under 18s at the moment. They both said, don't worry about us, think about this guy here. This is the next big thing. So if let's suppose Ethan Nwaneri hits the same level as Saka, which is unbelievable, by the way, he's like world class.
What a teacher
in the same team. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Them 2 in the same team as this young lad who's coming through. I'm excited about the future. Now, I know we're talking 3-4 seasons away yet, potentially, but at the same time, I think we've got to enjoy them whilst they're here. I think Arteta's got a hell of a job on his hands getting them both in the same team.
One last point I was just going to say here is Hente said, and it was something I was actually chatting to somebody the other day about. Last time we scored from a corner, set piece again, ole, was back in December. How the opposition figured us out. Andrew, we figured out the code in the main. So surely if we figured it out, managers must have figured out the code of where Raya is positioned, generally is an indication to where the ball may or may not be going. So have the opposition figured us out, or is it because we don't have Ben White in there? Is it because we're missing certain players, and maybe that we're a little bit more cautious?
Yeah, we are a bit more cautious. You look how many players they're putting on Gabriel now. He's got 2 or 3 players marking him all the time. They know we're going to make that run in from the back post and we're going to do something. So have we been figured out? Probably slightly figured out. Be interesting to see if PSV play a similar tactic to a team earlier in the Champions League, which I can't remember. He put 3 players up the pitch and didn't allow us to.
Sporting Lisbon.
You know, again, and you know, I don't want to criticise, but you actually look at the quality of the balls coming in 9 times out. You know, they're on a sixpence. When now, I don't think they're as big as they were, and it's down to that one lad. You know, Saka, isn't it? He was the one who was putting those balls in perfectly for us every time. Declan's, you know, he's doing it, but only from one side.
Yeah, and Odegaard is doing it from the other side, and sometimes Lewis Skelly. So I think, Saka is probably the key on that one. Guys, I'm going to press this button. It's a different button that we normally press, but this is from the lads earlier on.
What a great video it is as well.
It's a great video, but hide your animals and any glassware because the screeching at the start of this would like, you know, shatter glass. I tell you what, that was what time was that? That was about 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock-ish, yeah.
Half 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, like, when they joined us 3 hours later, you can understand why they were slightly in the state they were in. But yeah, what a great song! What a great celebration it looked like they're having out there. It's been absolutely brilliant, and it's given me a serious case of FOMO over the day. I must admit, I'm sitting there going. Yeah, I'm sitting there going, oh, Jesus. So I'm trying not to get wound up with them. Guys, there's 342 of you currently watching us across the various platforms. If you could spare us a moment, go across to YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. We would really, really appreciate it. They don't let me monetize anymore. I got up to about 12 quid and they've stopped it because I'm not an entity. I need to speak to somebody here if I can find that. But I've lost £12. But I just want to poke it up YouTube's backside and get more subscribers so we can just go, we get lots of people watching us and they use a different platform, but we don't like, just help us out. Dale, thank you very much, mate, for filling the breach. And Andrew, thank you again. I felt like I spent most of the week with you. It was Wednesday night and then then Friday on the podcast and again today. So
and I think my missus said I think I spent more time with you this week than I had her. So
yeah, it's been a perfect week, really, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been good. Oh, my God, she's going to watch this, isn't she?
Right. You have been watching an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Sorry, I got a head cold. I'm seriously missing out, not being out in Eindhoven, but I've enjoyed chatting to you three guys, and I really struggled with those other three. That was fun. Up the Arsenal. Fuck the Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.